Welcome back, Gundam guys and Gundam gals. PatrickGrade here from GGInfiniteNews.com. And now it's time to take a look at the completed Master Grade Heavy Arms kit. It didn't take me too long to get everything put together. When compared to the Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn Gundam, it's a pretty simple build. So, here we go. Alright, so I thought I'd start off by doing something a little different this time. I know that there are several reviewers out there on YouTube who like to show off the inner frame by itself, like Vegeta8259. So I thought that's a pretty cool idea, and I'll give it a try this time. So here's a look at the inner frame with a little of outside armor on it as possible. So in case you didn't know, all of the Gundam wing kits use a similar inner frame. A majority of the parts are the same thing from kit to kit. Just a few unique parts here and there, depending on the overall structure of the model kit. Like in the heavy arms here, the shoulders are of course unique. The chest unit, the side skirts, and these extra pieces on the sides of the legs. Pretty much everything else, though, is pretty typical in the Gundam wing kits for their inner frame. There are a few sliding pieces here and there, like in the upper thigh. You can see that sliding joint there. And the knee separates when you bend it all the way back. On the heavy arms, for all the missile pods, these lift up. On the front, the backs of each shoulder also swivel out to reveal more missiles, and of course the chest opens up to reveal the boob cannons there. There's also missile pods attached to the front skirts. Nothing on the back. You can see how the ankles and the feet are actually separate pieces, independent of each other. So yeah, the inner frame has a lot of detail that you can paint in if you wanted to. I know there are some builders who buy a kit and just spend months on painting it, just getting all the detail and everything brought out in the inner frame, so that's really cool. But unfortunately that's a talent that I don't have, so my respect goes up to those guys who can paint the inner frames to show all the mechanical detail there. So as you can see, the frame is pretty complete by itself. You don't need much of the outside armor to make it work together. There are two pieces here on the chest, the lower torso, and the guards on the hands here help the fingers stay in place as well. So just a couple things needed if you wanted to just display the inner frame. So all in all, the frame is really cool. It's kind of fun just to build a frame and see how it works together. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the frame. Let's move on to the individual parts with the armor on and see how the kit turns out. So here are the feet and legs with all the armor on. And as you can see, we have a nice off-white cream color for a majority of the armor, with some red accent pieces here at the feet and heel. And of course, in the inner frame, gray is showing off the back of the knee, the front of the knee, and on top of the foot and around the ankle. As far as articulation goes, there's a nice 180 bend at the knee, which separates the lower and upper knee. You can see some mechanical detail down inside there. And then for the ankle, we have a nice rotation side to side, forward and backward quite a bit. The toes can move down a bit because of the midfoot break. And there's a neat little design here at the back. There's no back ankle armor, so you can see a lot of the inner frame there. So it can come back quite a bit. So as far as other articulation goes, there's not really anything going on. There are no sliding armor pieces other than on the knee. It's all pretty simple, but very sturdy construction. Nothing really falls off too easily, and everything stays in place quite nicely. So the legs look nice, very functional, a little plain I guess when compared to other things, but all in all a great design. The torso is pretty fancy, a lot of nice bright red color with the orange and yellow offset, as well as some white trim. Reminds me a lot of the Titus, the high-grade Titus. The nice bright red there. So if you like red and white, this is a good kit to get. All of the skirts, the front, the back, and the side are on individual hinge joints. The front skirts have an extra attachment there, so they get a little bit of swivel and stuff out of the way. The back and side skirts are on a peg attached to the torso armor, so nothing too fancy going on there. As far as hidden compartments, you have the front skirts swivel down to reveal missiles there. and the side skirts, some grenades or other missiles can be revealed by popping out the holsters here. And these are all pretty solid construction. Nothing really falls off all that easy. And you can see you have to like lift it up and swivel it out to reveal them, and you can kind of lock it back in place. So nice design there. Nothing on the back skirts. No hidden missiles coming out of his butt or anything, so I guess that's pretty cool. And there's no swivel joints or anything on the hips, so these are stationary. No sliding mechanism there inside. So nice design, very solid and blocky looking. The heavy arms is a very stout looking design, not sleek, it's a very militaristic and tank-like, aside from the bright color scheme. So each of these white pieces on the side skirts are separate pieces, and they surround some great inner frame there, so some nice color layering. And some good places for panel lining as well. I outline these notches here on the bottoms of the skirts and outline the inside of the orange pieces there as well, so to help show off some of the detail. Very sturdy, very simple as far as construction goes, but it holds together very well. So in the upper chest we see some more of the orange as well as the yellow trim and some unique blue pieces down here inside the forward chest. We have a cockpit hatch that opens up to show off the pilot inside there. And of course the chest cavities open up to reveal the hidden Gatling guns. And the doors that open up are very strong and secure. They don't flop open by themselves. They stay in place very well, and they feel very nicely constructed. There's no collapsing on itself or anything, so these are very strong joints. It's light, of course, but they do stay open well, and they don't collapse or fold closed when you don't want them to. And the chest cavity is made up of a couple different pieces. The ring around the Gatling guns, the barrels, are separate. It's an outline piece. So if you wanted to, you can paint these separately and show off some extra detail there. And inside the doorways, you can see that it's kind of simple. It would have been nice to be a little more detailed inside there, but for what it is, it works really well. Again, it stays shut by itself. There's no click or locking or anything. It just friction joints from out here that keep the doors closed. Then you also have these shoulder mounted cannons here, outlined with the white and a separate barrel inside there. The shoulders can pop out quite a bit, and the neck joint can move backwards some. And here's the slot for the backpack to plug into. No torso movement or anything. It's all pretty sturdy and solid, and no ab crunch either. So articulation is real simple on, but construction wise and the unique doors and stuff, it's all pretty cool. It works really well. Nicely constructed and holds together by itself really nicely too. I was worried about that. So the arms and shoulders have a above average complexity. There are hidden missile pods here underneath. The front flips open and the rear folds out. You can see sets of missile pods here on the bottom and the top and back here as well. Again, this is a nice strong hinge, so it holds the weight of the doors by itself without any problems, and it stays closed as well, doesn't flop open or anything. The back door here is on a swivel joint, nothing too fancy. When you close it down, you usually have to pinch it back together just so it stays in place. It will kind of raise up when you fold it in and out, but you can see some nice mechanical detail even where the missile pods are not. So if you're wondering about how to paint the missile heads a different color than the rest of the mechanical detail, on the front and back flaps here, the missile heads are on a single piece, and the frame, the outline here, is separate as well. So you can paint the missile heads quite easily and then paint the outline if you want to a different color, so you can have some color separation there. And that's true for both the back flap and the front flap. And on front here, I believe the group of three here are separate, the group of three here are separate, and these two are by themselves as well. So you can paint those a different color real easily as well. And of course the outline mechanical detail is a separate piece. So it's really easy to get some nice color separation in there if you wanted to take the time to paint the detail. The only real problem I had during construction was getting these pieces to hold together properly. It's 4 pieces, the orange piece, the 2 pieces for the missiles, and then the hinge. And the hinge is pieced together between the 2 gray pieces. And if you don't have everything trimmed off enough and level, it won't stay together very well. So just take some extra time cleaning off the gray pieces on the front here to make sure it lines up properly and stays in place. Otherwise you'll have a loose hinge and the front gray will always pop off and the whole thing will fall apart. So as far as articulation goes, the arms can come out a little bit, not too far, quite bulky shoulders. And you do get 360 swivel at just below the shoulder, but it can loosen up the connection here, so you have to push it down back in place. You get almost 180 bend at the elbow, and the wrist and hands are on a free-floating joint there, so some nice articulation as well. So some other detail on the shoulders. You have a white piece surrounding some vents there. Some nice spikes coming off the edges of the shoulders with some detail on the inside. And the red piece has some channel lining and stuff as well. So nicely detailed shoulders. Complex for a wing kit. But again, everything works really well. Stays together as long as you get them cleaned properly and seated properly. And some good articulation there at the elbow. So the head's a very simple yet clean design. I like having antennas coming off the ears for some reason. And this has 2 on each ear, so that's pretty cool. I wish there was some color separation at the jewel on the V-fin. I don't like having the V-fin being one piece of the same color. It would have been nice to have some color separation there. But the design doesn't call for it, so I guess it's okay. I do like having the red underneath the yellow. I think that's a nice separation and a nice touch. And having the Vulcan cannons on either side of the face mask is pretty cool as well. And there's some pretty decent channel lining opportunities if you want to take them. I need to clean mine up a little bit, looks a little rough, but just kind of showing off the areas to panel line. You get a sticker on the forehead and the eyes, and the rear camera as well. Each of the wing kits have a nice head design. Different enough to make them unique, but they all follow a similar kind of pattern. Alright, so I'll go ahead and wrap up part 1 of the video review here. Stay tuned for next time where I'll take a look at all the accessories, as well as the assembled model kit. I'll show off the articulation, some poses, and I'll give you my overall opinions on the kit. And I'm happy to announce that as of yesterday, I surpassed 500 subscribers. So I'm really amazed and humbled that I have so many people out there paying attention to what I do. So please leave me a comment down below, or give me a like if you do, or don't if you don't. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And of course I want to thank Gundam Guy for providing me with the kit, and of course the inspiration to start doing this at all. Without him I would not have started this whole endeavor at all. So thank you, Mr. Gundam Guy, I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching so far, and I'll see you soon.